Hi guys, welcome to class. So in today's class, we are going to learn how to cut straight trouser. It's usually free from the hips down, and this pattern you don't this particular I've made this kind of trouser before, but I used pattern drafting. So I want to make it and teach you how you cut it directly on your fabric, because it's not every time you will need pattern. So this is what I'm going to use this fabric by using. So now, first thing I went ahead to do, by cutting the front part first. So I've measured 2 inches. This is the down part. I've measured 2 inches. That's what we use to turn our trouser in. So I just measured it. Then on the side, I measured 1 inch. So you will know the reason why now. So measure 2 inches, or any allowance you want to use to turn your trouser, usually 2 inches. It should not be more. 3 inches will make it look bulky. So 2 inches is better. Measure it here, then measure 1 inch. After doing that, now go ahead and measure the full length of my trouser. The full length of my trouser is 42, so I'll measure for 42. I'll measure it straight. So let me do that now. So this is the length I'm working with, 42 inches. Everything we are doing for this trouser is from the hip to the waist, because I told you straight palazzo, just straight. There is no flair or anything, straight. So what the next thing I'm going to do now, your hip measurement, you divide it by 4. My hip is 45, divided by 4 is 11.25. So I'm going to create a box here with 11.25. That is your hip divided by 4. So I'm going to measure 11.25 here. I'll measure 11.25 here also. Then 11.25 here also. So I'm just going to rule it across. I'll measure 11.25 here. That is my hips divided by 4. If you've watched my if you've been watching my channel and you're still having issues with trouser, I have different tutorial on how to cut trousers. Basic trouser, straight palazzo, but with pattern. So I want to do it straight on fabric now. So if you don't have pattern paper, you can cut it on your fabric. So you can extend this line. Extend it because you still need it. Good. Meanwhile, you remember that I started my this I started all my measurements from this line. So now let's cross check it again. I told you my hip divided by 4 is 11.25. So let's cross check it if what we measured is correct. 11.25. So I formed a perfect square. So this is absolutely correct. After doing that, I'm going to measure the distance from my waist to my hip curve, at least where my hip comes out. So you measure your client where your hip, where the person's hip protrude out. That's your hip curve. So for this measurement is 8.5. That is from your waist to your hip. So I'm going to measure it. Please note you I'm keeping my tape rule. 11 point. Why am I saying 11.5? 8.5. So I'm just going to roll it across. Just be careful. You see, I extended it small. Now that you've done that, the next thing I want you to do is from your waist to your knee point. Usually what you do, you just divide the full length of your trouser by two. You can get your knee, but me, I like measuring it. So it's 18 inches, it's 19 inches. So from your waist to your knee, I'm going to use 19. So everything we are cutting on this trouser is on the knee, from the knee to the waist. So this is 19 inches. Now, this is what you are going to do. So in order for you to get your front flap extension, that's how you are going to create this curve. It is your hip divided by 20 for the front. Hips divided by 20. So the hip we are using here is 45 divided by 20 will give me 2.25. So from here now, I will now come out by 2.25. That is front flap extension. So don't forget. So on this hip line, this is the hip line, this is the crotch line, this is the crotch line, this is the hip line. On this hip line, you go out by 0.25. This is it. Let me start from, see, this is 0.25. I measured it out like this so that you know, because this thing might confuse you. 0.25. Can you see it? So now you will not take your curve and just from here connect it to this 0.25 and connect it into this line. Just adjust your ruler as much as possible. Yes. Yep. So we've gotten it. Now that we've gotten it, let's go to the waist now. The waist is 39. 39 divided by 4 is 9.75. However, I will add that of 1 inch, so it will be 10.75. So you are going to measure from here now. You measure 10.75. That is the waist divided by 4, then 1 inch for that. That's 10.75. After doing that, on this point, go up by half an inch. It makes your trouser sit well. Half an inch. So you're just going to take your hip curve, connect it from here, connect it to this point. Let it not be too sharp. Okay, so I've connected it. Please don't forget to come up by half an inch. So after coming up by half an inch, connect this half an inch, connect it here. So when you do it right, it will be slanted. Can you see it? So now it's now for you to now, you know, the whole measurement for this place now is 10.75. Can you remember? We got 10.75. So you divide the 10.75, divide it by 2. That's where you get where your dart will be. So I've divided it by 2. So this is the point. So from here now, from this that second line, go down by 4.5 inches. That is your dart for the front. The front is 4.5 inches. Just extend the line out. This particular trouser I'm cutting is for those ones that we have zipper. Then you measure the dart half inch on both sides and connect it. So this is it. So we are essentially done with this upper side of the trouser. Now let's go to this part and the knee. So what you are going to do next, you measure from here. That is from where the front flap extension stops. Measure it from here to this place. Measure the hole. What you got. You got 13.75 to this point. 13.75. Please, this 13.75, note it down. We are going to use it for the back. Let me repeat myself. Whatever we get here, from here to this point, anything you get when you are drafting your own, note it, because you are going to use that measurement for the back. When we are going to use it, I will tell you. So now we are going to divide this 13.75 divided by 2. So just take your tape rule. Please don't do this method, use calculator, because this thing used to spoil tape rule. But let me just, so divide it by 2. When you divide 13.75 by 2, this is what I got. So now you are going to use it to find the midpoint. So you just measure it. So what I just did was divide this place into 2. So you are going to use it now. Extend it down. So all I have to do now is just roll it down. So now that I've rolled it down, so I've extended the line. So I've extended the line down to the end of the trouser. You know, this is the knee line. Let's not forget. This is the knee line. And I told you that the measurement we got here divided by 2. Now, in order for you to get your straight palazzo, all you have to do, you see this measurement here. You see this 13.75 we got minus 1 inch from it. So minus 1 inch from 13.75, you get 12.75. So for example, if your own is for the full length, your own is 14. When you now want to measure this side, you minus 1 inch from that 14 to give you 13. For this instance, it is 13.75 minus 1 is now 12.75. You see that 12.75, that is what you are going to use for the knee straight down to the ankle. You know, I told you the straight trouser is free. So we're only minusing 1 inch from this place. So I got 13.75 from here to this place, minus 1 inch. It gave us 12.75. That's 12.75. Now I'm not going to divide it by 2. 12.75 divided by 2. 12.75 divided by 2. So this is it. So now I'm going to distribute the 12.75 on these two places. So if I divide it by 2, now all I have to do, this is it. I'll place it here. So this is it here. And our 12.75 is here. So you are going to use this measurement down. If you do it well, you will notice that the difference between this new knee measurement and this old line we had before will be 0.5 inch. That is half inch on this side, half inch on this side. So I'm going to use it now. 12.75 divided by 2. This measurement here, I'm going to use it down to the straight to the down part of the trouser. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to measure it. But I'm just using the measurement, the same measurement down. 12.75. Now you just connect it. So can you see it? So now we've gotten the down from the knee down, we've gotten it for our trouser. So let me just adjust it a bit so you will see. I'm working with a small table, so I have to be adjusting so that you will see what I'm doing. Now, from this place, you connect this to this point, then you connect this point to this line. So let's do it. Please look at the way I'm placing my ruler. So I'm just going to connect it. Look at the way I'm placing this one. I'm trying to make it not to be too sharp so it will not have this weird ear. So you just connect it. So the front part of our trouser is ready now. So what I'm going to do now is to cut it out. However, when I'm cutting it, I'm going to add 0.5 inch on all the side. That's what we're going to use for our sewing allowance. So if you want to add 1 inch for sewing allowance, obviously that means this allowance you kept here earlier will be like 1.5. So I'm adding 0.5 inch or half an inch round, please. both the up except the down part, because we've already added 2 inch for the down part. So let's cut it out now. So this is how it looks. So we're still going to do something about the front, but not now. What you are going to do next is to notch this front like this, the dart area. So you keep it aside. We are still going to do something about it, but not now. So I'll just keep it aside for now. We're still going to cut the pocket. Now let's cut for the back. Now it's time for us to cut the back pattern of our trouser. So what I want to do, because I am thinking that this tutorial is already getting too long, I folded my fabric into two as usual. However, for this side, I measured 2 inches out. Then on the topmost part, I measured 3 inches. Do you understand? So you measure 2 inches here, you measure 3 inches, then you measure the full length of your trouser. I measured my knee line, this is 19, just the way we did for the front. Then from this line now, I created a box like we did. You remember we created a box. My hips divided by 4, that is 11.25, 11.25, 11.25, and 11.25. And of course, this is the hip line, that is 8.5, crotch line. So all this thing we did here now is like the front, exactly the front. The only difference is I came out by 2 inches here, and I came up, there's 3 inches allowance here. So now what you are going to do, on this crotch line, go in by 1 inch. On the crotch line, go in by 1 inch. On this line, on this waistline, go in by 2 inches. So you connect this line to this line, make sure it's extend up. So now when you've done that, this line is no more useful for us again. Do you understand? This line is no more useful. So this is our new line that we're using now. So this is the new line we're using. So on this line, this part, we go up by 1.5 inch. This is for usually in the water, except the person's bum bum is very big. If the person bum bum is very big, you can go up by 2 inches. That means you extend this one higher. So you go out by 1.5 inch. Now from this line now, you measure your back flap extension. And how do you get your back flap extension? It is your hips divided by 10. That is 45 divided by 10. Give me 4.5. So from here now, please ignore this line now. You know I've cancelled it already. From this line, go out by 4.5. That is our back flap extension. And of course, on this hip line, you go out by 0.25, just the way you did for the front. So you connect it from here, connect it to this place, and connect it to this line. Can you see it? So I'll just connect it to this line. So let me just make it bold. Now that we've gotten it like this is it like this. So the next thing I want to do now is to create my hip line again. So I'm going to, from this line, I'm going to measure my hips divided by 4, which is 11.5. From this line, please, hips divided by 4, 11.25. So this is it here. So I'm going to measure it again. So this is my new line. So you are not using this one again. So you are going to measure the difference between the remaining inches here. I got 0.6. So I'm going to measure it here, 0.6. This is our new line now. So this is our new line. We're not using this one again. I hope you are getting it. If you are not getting, please rewatch it. So this is our new line now. Now let's measure our waist. You know we've extended it up by 1.5. From that 1.5, our waist is 9.75 plus 1 inch. That's 10.75. So you now measure 10.75. Make sure your tape rule is slanted until you get your 10.75. This is it. This is my 10.75 here. So you are just going to mark it. You can use your tape rule to just roll this slanted line. Make it bold. So as usual, just the way we did for the front, you come up by half an inch, so your trouser will be balanced. So I think this is it. So now that you've gotten it, you will now connect this your new waistline, connect it to this line, just the way you did it. It might be looking funny, but that is how it is. So just connect it. Can you see it? Now we've gotten the front. So what next to do now? Let's just, before we finish the waist, of course you divide your 10.75 divided by 2. I want to get my dart. You can measure your dart. So this your back dart will be slanted. You come down by 5.5 inches. That is the length of the back dart. You can use 5 too. Come down by 5.5 inches. So you just connect it up. To be slanted because of the way the waist is. Can you see it? So you go in by half an inch on both sides and connect it. Can you see it? So we are done with the waist. We are done with the waist now. Now, remember that when we were measuring this thing for the front, I told you then that you should take note of that flap for the front. And we got 13.75. Remember, I told you that you should take note on it. So it is that 13.75. You divide it by 2. That's how we are going to use to get the midpoint of this back trouser. So you see that 13.75, you divide it by 2. 13.75 divided by 2. So this is what I got. So I'm going to use it to get the midpoint. So I'm just going to put it here from the crotch line. So I'm going to use to get the midpoint. I'm going to measure it down. So you are going to use to measure it down. So that's what I'm doing now. So I'll just roll it. So now that I've gotten that 13.75. Now you remember that one wanted to get the width of this knee and the down part for the front. We minus 1 inch from that 13.75. Like this, what we got here for the front. We minus 1 inch. That was how we got the width for this place and this place. We are going to do the same thing here. You know, if you notice when some people sew straight trouser, straight palazzo trouser, if they add too much allowance, you will now notice that the back is coming to the front when they wear it. This one that we are doing, in order to eliminate that problem that the back will be coming to the front, since it's a free trouser, whatever width you use for the front, that's what you use for the back. You're not adding any extra allowance from the knee to the ankle for the back. You're not adding extra allowance. So that 13.75 we got earlier minus 1 inch, just what we did for the front, it is 12.75. So we're going to divide that 12.75 divided by 2. I hope you understand the explanation I'm making, so that you will not be having trouser that the back will be coming to the front after sewing it. So 12.75. This method is only for free trouser. If it's a tight fitted trouser, you are going to add allowance to the back. So I'm just going to measure that 12.75. So I'm going to measure this down just the way we did for the front. 12.75. Like if you are following my tutorials, and you're still having issues with trouser, that means there's something, because I'm always very detailed when it comes to trouser making. So see, we've gotten it. So if you measure it now, you see that the distance here for the back is the same with the front, from the knee down. So the only difference is from the knee up for the back. That is it. So that we eliminate that issue that you wear trouser and the back will be coming to the front because the person have put too much allowance. So now what you are now going to do is you take your curve as usual. connect this place to this place. Very simple. If you've gotten it, trouser will usually be, you want to be sewing trouser all the time. Then connect this point now, this line here, please connect this line here, connect it to this point. You see that it's much more curvier for the back. That's why you will know the difference. It's much more curvier to the back compared to the front. So just connect it and blend it to this place. So our trouser is ready. So what I want to do next now is to cut it out. As usual, I'm going to add half inch round. Please note the way I'm cutting it. I'm going to add half inch round, except the down part. I've already added 1 inch, 2 inches for allowance. So let's cut it out now. So now that we're done, I've already notched the. Remember when we were cutting this trouser, we did not make allowance for the band. So now I want my band to be 1.5 inches. So from here now I'm going to cut out 1.5 inch for band. So what I do here, I will replicate it for the front part. 1.5 inch. So I'll cut it out. I'm using yellow chalk so you will know. So if your band is going to be 2 inch, you remove 2 inches. So my band is 1.5. So I'm just going to cut it out. So I've cut out my band for the back. I'll do the same for the front. So you can now notch. Then you can now note where your dart will end for this side. So we are done with the back. So I'll keep it aside and I'm done with the back. So I'm going to do the same thing also. So I'm going to remove 1.5 inch for the band. So after cutting it out now, in order for your front part to slip very well, you know this part of our this is deep, so you come down by 1/2 inch here. For just the front, come down by 1/2 inch and use your hip curve to blend it in. You can just watch what I'm doing to just blend it in to the leg of your dart. Can you see it? So trim it out. Did this. My body is not straight on the front part. So when we're done now, I will just notch my dart and I will also notch where the dart will end in this place. So I will know. So now it's time for us to cut our pocket. So on this side now, on this side, you come in by 2 inches. If it's too wide, your pocket will be gaping. So I think 2 inches is okay for me. Then you come down by, I want to use 6.5. You can use between 6.5 to 7. Me, I'm using 6.5. I don't want the pocket to be too wide. So look at the way I'm putting my ruler. So you just mark it. So this is will be our pocket open. So open, keep it aside now. Let's cut the pocket. So you're going to take a fabric now, and you're going to, it's 4. So I folded it into 2. It's 2 like this, and I folded it into 4. So it's 4 like this now. So the length of the fabric depends on you. You can use 14, or if I'm using 14, you can use it up to 15. Then the width, is 8.5 inch. You can use 9 too. So now you know it's into 4 now. So what you are going to do is to place it like this. You now place your, I'm holding the two trousers together, the two sides together. So you are just going to place your trouser on top of it like this. Lay it flat very well. Can you see what I'm doing? So you trim it like this. So you raise your trouser. So after trimming it now, you already know that this is the hip part. So what you are just going to do, you can now curve it in. It doesn't have any set curve, just for you to curve it in small. Please make sure it's equal at the side. So this is it. So it's 4 now. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now you are going to take 2 aside. It will act as our pocket facing. Take it aside. It will act as our pocket shield. Keep it. You see this one now? You place your pocket on it exactly the way it ought to be. So after placing it like this, now you know we're cutting directly on fabric. So you can now cut, you not cut it directly like this. So you cut it out by 1/2 inch. So you are placing 2 of the pockets, then your 2 trouser, front trouser, you now cut it out like this, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. So this is how it will look. So one pocket, this is our pocket facing, and this is our pocket bag. So this is how it will look when you are done. Do you get it? And this is the other one. So now we are done. So the next thing I want to do now is to weave it round. The next class we are going to do how we are going to couple everything together. So if you like this tutorial, kindly like, share and subscribe to this channel. And if you have any question, kindly drop it in the comment section. Take care of yourself. Bye.